Hi everybody, this is the next day, and I just wanted to put a disclaimer. Anywhere I said I was going to put screenshots, I haven't, because I don't remember where they need to go. I show pictures on my phone after the fact of the various projects that I want to work on, and am working on, what they should look like when they're finished. And I didn't even say my name, which is Raylene, until the end of the episode. At this point, I don't want to refilm because it takes time to pull everything together. And I just want to get it out because I'm procrastinating on getting it out because I don't want to spend the time. Anyway, my job is really stressful and busy, and I don't always have a lot of headspace when I get home. So in the interest of getting this out there, I'm putting this little disclaimer at the beginning. Yeah, so thank you. I hope you enjoy. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to, it doesn't have a name yet. I don't know. Welcome to my Floss tube. Of course, this is episode 1, as it is hopefully labeled. Hopefully I can look at the camera and not at the screen, because I have the camera on top of my monitor. Anyway, plans for today, and probably, well, for today, are finished objects. I have 2. Works in progress. I have a couple. Kitted projects. Some have fabric and floss. Some just have floss. I haven't figured out the fabric yet. And then I'm going to go through my fabric stash. I figured that might be interesting. I don't have a lot of it, so it shouldn't take terribly long. Yeah, that is my glasses. Are they crooked? Are they not? Do we know? We don't know. Is my head crooked? Maybe. Is my camera crooked? Possibly. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't hear me, please let me know. I also have a couple things that I'd be interested in showing, but I'm not sure if there's interest in seeing, so I'll mention that kind of at the end. If you have any comments or anything, love to hear them, etc. My shirt says coffee saves lives, because every day I have coffee before I go to work. It saves a life. Okay, so recent FOs. I'm going to start with, maybe I should start with like, how did I become a cross stitcher? Do I consider myself a cross stitcher? I don't even know. As with many people, my mother taught me how to cross stitch in the 90s. I turned 42 this year, so I learned how to cross stitch in the 90s. Never finished anything. Picked it up again in like 2017-ish. I basically quit knitting for the entire year of 2017 because I fell into cross stitch, but I finished like one item, which is like framed at my mom's place. It's from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's got 2 owls and it says "Owl, always love you" or something like that. If I can find it, I'll put a picture up somewhere. I don't have any paper patterns. All of my patterns are PDF. I use Markup RXP. I'm getting really distracted and this is kind of all over the place. I'm sorry. I went back to knitting after 2017. And I picked up cross stitching again this year. And as normal, it goes even deeper every time you touch something. I don't know. We'll see how long this lasts. This might end up going back into knitting. It might end up doing something else. It might not always stay 100% cross stitch. I hope you're okay with that. If you're not, then I can't do a lot about that because I do tend to go through phases. Knitting has stuck around kind of the longest, where I solely focused on that, and I do still occasionally knit. I love to knit plain vanilla socks. But right now, I need to focus my time on the things that I want to get done in cross stitch, otherwise they'll never get done, which I'm sure if you cross stitch you understand, or do any kind of craft. All of these crafts are just like one stitch at a time kind of thing. Okay, so the first finished object is something that I started in 2017, and I finally finished. Well, I'm still working on backstitch. I've never done backstitch before in my life. So I'm working through the back stitch. So this is from the Frosted Pumpkin. This is their Once Upon a Time stitch along. This is on, I didn't buy a kit, but I do have the called for fabric, the called for DMCs, the called for Weeks Dye Works. So I recently finished this. And you can see I've done some of the back stitch on kind of the bottom ones. If you see any mistakes, no you don't, it's a lie. And I can definitely tell when looking at it very closely that my stitching got better. This was originally intended, my niece was born in 2014, so she turns 11 this year. This was originally intended to be for her bedroom, but at this point she is, I think, a little bit outgrown it, and it is going to be for my best friend wants to have kids soon with her partner, and so it is kind of earmarked for her first girl if she has a girl. If she doesn't end up having a girl, then maybe I'll just frame it for myself. I don't know. I have not filled in the year at the bottom because she's not even pregnant yet, by the way. Like, this is like, I'm going to fill in the year for the year the baby is born, and then I'm going to get it custom framed from, I don't know, Michael's. There's also the only local needle workshop here. Oh yeah, I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And it's really hot today, which might be why I'm kind of all over the place. I got my car back today from getting fixed by the insurance company, and the AC doesn't work. And it's 33 degrees Celsius today. It's very hot. Anything over plus 20 and I melt like a popsicle. So yeah, anyway. So that's that. Like I said, it's not fully finished. I still need to put the year on it whenever, if she also has a boy, then I'll figure out something else. The next thing I have is something that I started and finished recently. I am in the process of trying to figure out how to fully finish it. By the way, Once Upon a Time, uploaded into Markup RXP very wonky. I don't know what the actual stitch count is. I think it's around 25 or 30,000 stitches, but I don't know. This is, I have a degree by White Raven Cross Stitch on Etsy, I think. If that's wrong, I will try to remember to fix it. I am going to be doing a hoop finish with this. This is on 32 count opalescent. I think it's an even weave. I bought it from my local needleworks store, and it wasn't labeled, and it had a splotch on it, which I was able to wash out. But she was like, I don't think anything I carry is 32. I can't even get 32 count opalescent linen from my supplier. But I'm pretty sure this is an even weave. And when I measured it out with a ruler, I counted 32 strands per inch or whatever. So that is going to be in a hoop finish. My mom gave me batting. I've never done a hoop finish. I don't know what I'm doing. My mom gave me batting. My mom wanted me to like sew it to the batting with the backing and then do a little rod. I want to put it in this hoop. This is supposed to be a 10-inch hoop, but when you measure from like the edge of the white to the edge of the white, it's only 9.5. And then if you buy the other wooden hoops from Michael's, the 10-inch measures like 11 inches. Anyway, I want to finish it in this hoop. I think it will be very cute in this hoop. And then it will go up on my wall next to my head somewhere. I do have a degree. I have an English degree, and I'm an English major with a Bachelor of Arts. And I showed this to my sister-in-law this weekend, and she's like, why? Why do you need... And I'm like, well, why not? And she just about died laughing. So yeah, I'm easily amused. So I have this, and then I got this for backing fabric from my mom. I know it's not purple, but it doesn't have to be purple. It just has to be pretty. So that will be a fully finished object at some point once I can get off my butt long enough to figure out how to actually finish something in a hoop. You don't have to worry about that with knitting. All you have to do is like sew seams and like weave in ends and wash things, and you're done. And here there's like all kinds of shenanigans going on. I don't think I will ever do a pillow or a lot of things. Yeah, I do not do seasonal decor. The decor that I have up is the decor that I have. So when I'm picking projects that I want on my walls in specific places all the time. I also don't do Halloween stitching. I don't do Christmas stitching. I don't like either of those things enough to spend so much time stitching on something. Halloween's not really my jam. It's not my aesthetic, even though the music I listen to is probably more Halloween than anything. But I've never gotten into Halloween decorations or Halloween in general. Halloween just is not my thing. And I mean, I enjoy Christmas. We put up a Christmas tree and whatnot, but my partner's Jewish, so I do it because I like to put up the tree. I like to do cozy things, but I'm not like super into Christmas. We don't have kids, and I don't want kids, really. We have a dog. We have a 9-year-old dog who's snoring beside me right now, sort of beside me. So that project, I have it on markup. Yes, White Raven Patterns on cross stitch on Etsy. Sorry, White Raven Patterns on Etsy. 6,516 stitches in that one. So that's what I did. You know, I say I don't do seasonal stitches, but I have these pictures, like prints, seasonal prints, and I have them, all 4 of them, up at all times. I really like the Winter Quaker and Summer Quaker from Primrose Cottage, and I want to do those and then get them framed in one frame with all 4 of them. I think that would be cute, but I'm not like swapping them around. I'm not doing like monthly things. I'll never swap them. I know who I am. I'll never swap them. It's not worth my time. Okay, so the next project, apparently we're starting off with the things that have the least amount of work, is 324 by Works by ABC. I'm trying to read it on my phone, I'm sorry. So this is where I'm at with that. Not terribly far. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have seen this before. It is, every square or pattern is different, and each one is also a different color, and it goes through a rainbow. So I have a very small start there. I have 514 stitches done out of 13,171. So go me. At least I have it started. This is what I bought, this is on that opalescent even weave as well, and this is what I bought that fabric for. So you can't really see it, but it is very sparkly. Yeah, you can't see it very well. So yeah, I like sparkly things. The Once Upon a Time was also on sparkle. It was on opalescent doubloon by Picture This Plus is the called for fabric, and that's what I did it on. I like sparkle, apparently. I think it looks cool. I don't know, it adds like something to the piece. Next is a project that I'm working on for my mom, and it's still in the Q-snap because I was working on it recently. All of my projects are probably going to be on Q-snaps. I stitch with a floor stand. I have a Clems and Clems floor stand that I bought from the Frosted Pumpkin ages and ages ago. So this is Blue Jay by Carolyn Manning. It's one of her shooting stars. So I am, you can see it wraps around. I am done the first, like, the middle of the pattern is that square right there. So I am done this first quarter. I have worked below that because the first page goes below the halfway, the horizontal halfway point is right here, and it goes below. And recently I started on the other top quarter here, and I did all of this purple, all of this blue, and then I started on the very dark. Now the dark color is supposed to be black 310 DMC. These are all on DMC, by the way. I mentioned the one that had non-DMC. I changed it to 939. In some lights it does show up navy. Most things it still looks black. This is some 28 count even weave that I picked up from Michael's, It's very stiff. It's actually, I mean, it's not too terrible, but it's not like my favorite either. I'm using it mostly because this is a full coverage piece and I didn't have a lot of fabric to begin with. So I'm stitching this for my mom. I need to get it done by, it's for either her birthday this year in December 1st, or for Christmas, also December. So, and then I am planning on getting it custom framed, but I do not know when that will be. Okay, sorry, I had to go grab my supper from the front door. Okay, Bluebird. I have stats on it. I do. So Bluebird, I'm at 8,352 stitches out of 1,800, or 18,225. I'm at 45.83%. I started this, when did I start it? I should have that stat somewhere, right? I should have it. I started it March 15th. So I worked on it quite heavily, and then I stopped to finish Once Upon a Time, and then to do I Have a Degree, and then picked it up again because it has a deadline. I don't see myself having a lot of works in progress. Right now I've shown 2. I have 2 more, so I have 4 total, and I'm hoping not to go over that. The next thing that I have is another frosted pumpkin. This is also on the called for fabric with the called for DMC and Weeks Dye Works. This is the Let's Go on an Adventure. This was the Pumpkin Passport. I'm at 7,527 stitches out of 16,908, 44.52%. That might be a little off. That was just me filling in what I'd already done when I set up markup, because this was another thing that I started in 2017, and I have not put any work on it since I pulled it out. Since I pulled out my cross stitch this year. So I'm done December or January up here, part of February. I'm done Russia over here, and then July, August, I don't know. Egypt, India, of course. And then I finished all the words. So I don't know when I'm going to pick this up again. This one was originally going to be for my nephew, who was born in 2016. He is turning 9 this year. I think I'm a little late, but that's okay. So yeah, I don't know what this is going to be for, or who it's going to be for. It might just be for myself. This is in, so far, the Q-Snaps, like this, is a Michael's Q-Snap knockoff brand thing, Michael's store brand, whatever, Loops and Threads. This is an 11 plus an 8 equals an 11 by 8, because I prefer the rectangular. This is an actual Q-Snap brand Q-Snap that I bought from, there's a needlework store in Canada called Stitch It Central that I purchased from. I like the local needlework store. It's not very big, and they have been very sold out of fabric for quite a while. I don't know if they're planning on restocking. Anyway, and I could not get this thing to stay together. I watched YouTube videos. I contacted their customer service. They just said a lot of people have been complaining that they're too difficult to get apart. And I'm like, well, mine won't stay together. And then they're like, well, put fabric on it and see. And I'm like, even when I have fabric on it, it still wants to fall apart. So I glued it. I glued the frame together because that's the only way I could get it to stay together. And I like the size because I can put this whole thing on here and not have to move my Q-Snap. And she said that she was going to give that feedback to Q-Snap support or whatever, but I get it. You don't want to have to fight to pull it apart. But I'm not taking mine apart like ever, pretty much. I just want it to go together and stay together. Like I shouldn't, when I pick it up by one side, the other side shouldn't fall apart. Like literally it was falling apart. That was very frustrating. I was very frustrated because the actual Q-Snap brand Q-Snaps are quite expensive in Canada. I think it was like $40 plus shipping for this thing. And then for it to be falling apart, not my favorite. Okay, so I have one more work in progress. So this is I have started the Fox and Rabbit Cloister Garden Mystery Stitch Along for 2024. This is 2025. It is free until the end of December. I am doing this on natural, undyed linen. I think it's Cashel linen. And I am doing it 1/1 with DMC 3740, which is a dark mauve. I am at 716 stitches done right now. I have it in markup up until April, which is a total of 10,465 stitches. But of course there's been sections since then. And this is how far I am. I had to pick out this whole section here because I was one stitch too far this way. And then I redid it, and then I went and did all of this last night. So yeah, I am doing it 1/1 full cross. I've never done 1/1 full cross. I had started Heaven and Earth Design at one point in 2017, but I didn't want to finish it, so I threw it away. Well, I cut the fabric. I was more than a page finished. I took that and I cut it apart and salvaged the fabric. So next I'm going to go through what I have kitted. I will try to put pictures of what the finished thing looks like here. I'm going to try to do that for everything, but I don't know. So this, I use these scrap booking organizers from Michaels to kit my projects because it allows me to easily see what's inside, and it protects it because it's hard. Like if I take my item off my Q-snap, a lot of my Q-snaps can be broken down to almost fit in this if I need to, or if I need to store it like I am with my Once Upon a Time, it just folds in. And I have like the stuff on the back, like the extra things that I need for my back stitch, but I can still very easily see what this is. Like I just need to see that edging and I'm like, okay, that's my Once Upon a Time. So if I'm storing things, and I mean even when I have it beside me, I set it all up in here. So here are my flosses for this project. This one is called Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys. It is also by White Raven. I think I am going to double check that because I am not even 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it is, if it'll load. I have all my cross stitch patterns like saved on a external storage drive. Yeah, so it's by White Raven Cross Stitch. It says Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys, and then it's got florals around it in these colors. I do not have fabric set aside for it yet. I think I am going to purchase some more opalescent even weave or linen because I don't have enough left over from the two projects that I've done on, well, the one project that I finished and the 324 that I'm working on, to get another project on there, especially since most of these hoop projects from White Raven are about 10 to 12 inches. So that's going to be started at some point. I have a little thread thingy. And then I have, okay, this is the Lola Crow Extraordinary Birds Sal kitted up. I like to use binder clips and I like to bobbin. My dad bought a 3D printer and he made some floss drops for me, which I'm finding handy in some projects to like hold the stuff that I've cut off the bobbin, but I don't know. So these are my flosses for it. Some extras. I have not started yet, clearly. I am going to be doing it right now on this 36 count linen from Roxyfloss Co. in Catnap. Yeah, that's pretty true to color. I'm not sure if it's going to be too dark, but it's like a gray taupey, almost some blue in it a little bit. And it's a 36 count. I think I'm going to be doing it 2/2. I don't remember, because this is a wide 1/8. So it's like 13 by 26, I think. And I had done the math on it and figured that that would work. I think it was for 2/2, but I'm going to have to double check that before I actually start it. So this one is all ready to go with fabric and everything. With the tariffs and everything and the issues with the States, I'm trying really hard not to buy physical items from the States. So a lot of the fancy fabric I have is from Roxyfloss because they're Canadian. Or I'm buying it from Stitch at Central, which you'll see in a little bit. The next thing I have is another Carolyn Manning Scattered Stars pattern. It's Morrigan. I have the floss all put together for it. I do not have fabric for this one yet. At least I haven't chosen fabric for it. Some extras. Another. But it's got a lot of like mauves and purples and yeah. I will put a picture of that up. Probably here. Here to me makes the most sense to put a picture up. And the next thing I actually have kitted up in a floss box because it's a Heaven and Earth design. It's Winter Owl by, let me see who it is by. I do not have that memorized. Kitted, Anya something. Anya Kai? I'll put the name up. I'm doing no background on this one though, because the background is just blue. It's just 2 shades of blue the whole way through, so it kind of looks kind of mottled. I'm just going to buy like an icy blue fabric, which I haven't purchased yet, or like a snowy gray cream, and I'm going to do it no background. So I've already marked off the background on this, and that's already over 77,000 stitches out of 117,000. So that's like 66% of the project is just 2 colors of blue background. Maybe I can show this on my... That's the Derpy Owl. I think it's a Derpy Owl. It's definitely a Derpy Owl. Actually, I could probably do this for the other ones too. Huh. Look at me being all smart. That's Morrigan by Carolyn Manning. And then Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys is that right there. And then, see, I can do this. I'm thinking ahead. Woohoo. Blue Jay, I can show Blue Jay too, what Blue Jay will look like when it is finished. I did not expect there to be so much purple in Blue Jay, frankly. It does not look purple in the mock-up. You can't really see the color appropriately there, but there is no blue in the mock-up, or no purple in the mock-up, and there's so much purple in the pattern. But anyway, this is my Derpy Bird kit. And then I have a little calyx shelf here that everything just goes onto, so I may as well put everything away. And then I have some fabric. So I received some fabric today for a specific project. There is a band called Sleep Token that my partner and I went to see in, May of last year in Toronto. I found them and introduced them to him, and we both really like them. I have their band poster, or the tour poster is above my computer. I also have a really cool picture from the concert that I'm going to get printed into like a poster and get it framed. Let's see if I can show it or find it in a reasonable amount of time. So yeah, we had neither of us had been to Toronto before, so we went and we did like a weekend trip. Yeah, that doesn't really show very well. But somebody, I can't remember her name, I'll put a picture of it. I don't have it in markup, so I can't show you the picture on markup. Made like a Sleep Token inspired pattern for free. So I bought some fabric. She did it on like this really dark tealy green. It's very green, but it has a lot of blue in it. And it's from a US dyer who dyes primarily Aida, which I don't really work on. Not for any particular reason. I just have linen and even weave, and that's what I prefer. I don't have anything wrong with Aida. There's nothing wrong with Aida. This is just what I have and what I like. So I bought a couple of options. The first one was this. These are all from Roxyfloss. So this is 32 count fresh. I feel like it's too light. But that was the only kind of green they had, which is fine. I'm sure I'll use it for something if I don't use it for this. And then I also bought 36 count Seance. This is much purpler in real life. It is very, very purple. I did not expect it to be so purple because it looked very blue, but it's like a dark grape kind of color, a grapey gray. Even that's showing way too blue. So that's 36 count. These are all wide eighths. And then this is Cherry Cobbler. It's very red. It's showing up quite a bit brown on this camera, but it is very red. So this is a 32 count. It is brown. It does have brown in it. It's like a brown cherry red. I don't know. That's a little bit washed out, but that is showing more red. So those I received today, which was exciting. I have some fabric that I've gotten from my mother. I don't know what it is. And then I have, this is a fat quarter of 40 count linen. This is from my local needlework store. I'm going to take the price tag off of it because nobody needs to know how much I paid for that. The color, they dyed it. The color is Toad. It's a gray. Maybe I'll take it out of the bag. I'm sorry for the wrinkly stuff. It's 18 by 26. It's darker than that. It's getting washed out quite a bit. It has some purple in it. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. It's literally a fat quarter of 40 count. I don't know. Apparently I think tininess is close to godliness or something. I don't know. So far, the smallest that I have literally done anything on is 32 count. Nothing if not, whatever. Anyway. And then I have from Roxyfloss Co. This is a 40 count linen in London Fog. That's fairly accurate color. It's more brown. It's showing very gray on there, which it is very gray, but it's also brown. It was darker than I expected, but that's okay. This is also from Roxyfloss Co. This is 40 count dirty porcelain. This was a lot pinker. Oh, excuse me. Okay. This was a lot pinker than I was expecting. But it's very pretty. Dirty porcelain on 40 count. And then I have an 18 by 23 piece of 28 count even weave Lugana that's been naturally dyed. I have no idea by who. I've had it in my stash since 2017. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for. So far, nothing has struck my fancy to use it, but that's okay. I don't need to have, oh, just very dry, apparently. I'm not hydrating enough. And then I have a 40 count Newcastle linen in Alabaster or Silver Moon. It is a very, very light gray. I really like gray. My neutral is gray. My whole house, we rent, by the way. So, like, I didn't even choose the paint color, and the whole house is like millennial gray. Love it. The kitchen's millennial gray. We bought a kitchen table that matches. It's gray. Couch is gray. Dog is black. Even the dog matches. And then this does not have a tag on it. I don't remember what count this is, but it's just antique white. Some antique white. I think it's a fat quarter of antique white. Excuse me, sorry. And then I have a 36 count fat quarter of Regency. I don't know who this is from. I picked it up from Stitch It Central. It might be from Picture This Plus, I don't know. But it's a light green. It is very pretty. And then I have 4 fat quarters worth of 28 count, easy count, gridded Lugana. 4 fat quarters, that would be a whole yard. I have a whole yard of this. I want to do Rainbow Dragon by, I can't remember her name. I can find that out though. Who is that by? Genovia Art. That's for that. At some point whenever I get around to it. So that is that. That's my fabric, my works in progress, my kitted stuff, my finishes. And I'm at 36 minutes. I'm going to cut it there. I do have like floss stash that I could show. I have some fancy flosses that are in a separate thing. Some are from Roxyfloss. Some are Weeks Dye Works. Oh, there's a needle. Excellent. That's what I need, more needles. But I'm clearly needing a drink and my supper is sitting beside me. So I'm gonna go eat and then figure this out. Well, not figure this out. I used to have a knitting podcast. I know how it goes, but get it sorted out and get it posted and figure out a name for this. I don't even know if I said my name. My name is Raylene. There you go. I have a garden out back. My dad made some long planters and one has a trellis on it because we just have a little like patio that's like 5 feet by like I think 4 feet that we're allowed to put stuff on. I can't put anything on grass where it will interfere with the landscaping. It's a very bougie place. It was brand new when we moved in. So if you're interested in a short little video garden tour, I'd be interested in that. I have quite a bit of stuff and it's doing well so far. But yeah, if you have anything you'd like to share, I'd love to know what you're working on. Comment, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I don't know how often I'll do these. You really only focus on one project at a time. So it will probably be a monthly, maybe bi-weekly thing, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.